Number 41, Isaac Traudt. We'll start with a statement from Greg McDermott.
Awesome crowd. It was fun to, see so many people here for the pink out. Obviously, Shaheen's their teams had to deal with a lot of adversity this year, and they're dealing with more now with a couple guys out. But they're going to compete. They're going to fight, and that's what happened the first half. I don't know that our focus was where it needed to be during that first half. Fortunately, we finished the half strong. But they took advantage of some mismatches, and we didn't handle that very well. But I thought we regrouped at halftime, and we're a little bit more like the team that's been playing recently on both ends of the floor, but especially defensively the second half. To hold them to 20 the second half is what we needed to do from the jump to start with. So, it's a good win, and we had a lot of guys step up and make some big plays. Obviously, Isaac gave us a big lift off the bench, and Steven and Kalk were really good.
All right, we'll do questions for the student athletes first.
Steven, you and Ryan combined for 40 on 19 shots. You missed your first two, but then after that, you didn't miss much. What were you guys and you in particular seeing so well today?
It's got to be the ball, right, Coach?
Yeah, he wants to use that pink ball.
Yeah.
My guess is it'll be here next time.
Yeah. But yeah, it was obviously an efficient night, and that's just more of the same from Ryan Kalkbrenner. Glad to join that club of becoming a little more efficient tonight. You throw Isaac Traudt in there as well, 4 for 4. That's 50 points on 23 shots. So really effective and efficient, and I think that when we got into our motion and really started sharing the ball and moving without the ball, I thought that we got a lot of open shots, and when this team gets open shots and gets shots at the rim, we're usually pretty effective. So that was a big key for us, especially in the second half.
They kind of quieted this place as much as you can when they were up 28-20, and then you hit that three, and that was kind of the beginning of the avalanche. What do you remember about that moment and the roar that the crowd let out from after you hit that three?
Yeah, that was I felt like that was a big one just for our momentum to see another shot go in, and I think that throughout the game you can kind of feel it when it's either through the crowd or just through our possessions. If we're not getting the best looks and best opportunities, it can be stagnant. But once that dropped, I felt like the crowd really got behind us again, and then from there we were able to kind of put some more stops together, which was really the biggest thing to enable us to be more successful on offense.
You guys always talk about how important the first 5 minutes of the second half is. How important was that buzzer beater for you to be able to kind of help set the tone for a good second half offense?
Yeah, that was big. Obviously, it was one of our end of half execution plays that we were able to make happen there, and to be able to see that drop at the end of the half and just push that lead just another 2 points further and kind of go into half with a little bit more of a calmness about where we were at, I felt like was big. And then the first 5 minutes of that second half were really just on the defensive end, trying to make sure that we were more focused, more physical, and didn't let them be comfortable within their offensive sets.
Isaac, you've scored in double figures 3 of the last 4. It started with that Providence game here. Is there a reason? Did something change, or are you just seeing the rim that well right now?
I think it's more or less teammates finding me. I think they're doing a really good job of just finding me in open spots, and I think a lot of that is me trying to find more open spots. I feel like earlier on in the season I'd kind of just sit in the corners for most of the possession, which a lot of the sets that's what I do. But just trying to move a little bit more, get more open shots, because Jackson does a really good job of that offensively. So just trying to learn from him because he's really elite at that.
Isaac, you guys I think made 11 out of 12 shots at one point in the second half. There, you had your personal 8 of them. What's it like playing out there like that when you guys everybody's hitting shots, the whole thing's just rolling like that?
It's a lot of fun. Momentum's a lot of fun, obviously, and especially in front of a crowd like that. 18,000 today, and for a really good cause. So that was a lot of fun. It got really loud in there, and that's what it's all about.
Steven, have you ever had an opposing head coach dap you up like Shaheen did at the end of the first half?
I don't know if I have. You're around the business long enough, you get some respect from some people, and that was one of those moments. Him and I both know that was a shot that I don't normally take within our offense. It was kind of end of half, and was able to see it go in, and so it was a funny moment for sure.
Anything else for the student athletes?
Steven, that's 7 of 8 now. I mean, it's a tough league to win, and you guys have just been able to consistently do what it today, and especially after you guys, how you responded in the second half. What does that say?
Yeah, I think that it goes to show what this team is building and what we can potentially be capable of. But I also think that we're gonna learn from this in the film room when we get back, and we're gonna see what we can't be as well throughout this game, because there was moments where we weren't at our best, and this is a league that every single night, every single team is gonna fight, and you're gonna get their best shot. And so to win 7 out of 8 in this league is definitely something that's a great accomplishment. But at the same time, there's so much work to be done, and there's so much that we can learn, and that's something that's super exciting as a player. It's exciting to be able to have that room to grow.
Do either of you guys have any connections or anything with the people that won your pick out auctions?
You go first.
I'm not sure who won mine, actually. I'm excited to go meet the family. So, I'm not aware of who it is yet.
Yeah, the family who auctioned mine is the Hoke family. They're the sponsor of the Point Guard Scholarship here at Creighton, and so I do have a relationship with them, and they've been so great and supportive of us. And Michaela, who's on the back of my shooting jersey, is someone who has actually won the battle with cancer, I believe, back in 2008. And so it's something special to be able to play in a game like this where the message before tip-off was hope. And, sports is something that can give people hope, and I hope that our platform as athletes and players can bring that hope to people who are battling this fight right now, whether it's you personally or someone. We're with you. We pray for you. We encourage you to keep fighting, and if you can, please keep donating to the research and everything, because we know that with God's help, anything is possible.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all.
Continue on with questions for Coach.
Mac, you guys obviously give up that mid-range shot in your drop coverage. Did it feel like they were just taking those and hitting them? early
Yeah,
on?
I mean, probably shot them better than what we anticipated they would. Their numbers on the season weren't great with that shot, but you also have to weigh it out over the course of 40 minutes. You can't all of a sudden scrap the plan because they hit 2 or 3. Those are the shots we're trying to get them to take, and sometimes they make them. And I was more worried with some of the other stuff, getting deep and drop, bounce passes at the rim for layups, and a couple of the threes that we gave up. So, that's what we give up. We moved Kalk up a little higher as the half went on and into the second half, and that kind of remedied the problem.
Looks like Fedor's starting to get comfortable. Isaac's playing really well recently. What does that add when you've got guys like that coming off the bench contributing?
Yeah, it's been great, and the roles. I talked last week about how the roles are gradually being defined, and I think everybody's pretty comfortable. Fedor's the one that's ever changing as he gets more comfortable in our offense. He's made tremendous strides defensively from when he first became eligible to where we are today. Doing some really good things. He makes some nice passes, and you saw his ability to make shots. So, but we're getting some really good production. Got 26 points off the bench again today. That's the bench has been huge for us during this win streak.
Jemiah didn't play the last 5 minutes of that first half, and you put Fedor. How big was that stretch?
Yeah, it was. He picked up his second foul. We decided to they were trying to really slow the game down, so we decided to pick up and pressure. And I wasn't anticipating that Jemiah would get back-to-back fouls by doing that. So that blew up in our face a little bit. But that stretch of the game was really important. I think we scored on 8 straight possessions to end the half. So to go from down 6 or 7, whatever we were, to take that lead into halftime was huge.
Mac, you mentioned a lack of focus in your opening statement. Anything you can kind of chalk that up to?
Now, I think, number one, it's an emotional day with the pink out. That's part of it. But, you get news right before tip-off that Coleman, their best player, is not going to play. So, our focus in practice was so locked in on him and what he does and how they move him around in the offense that I'm just not sure we were razor sharp and probably didn't respect them as much as we needed to respect them given who was out. And that takes a lot of maturity to do that, especially, had we known 2 days ago, you prep for it. But when you find out right before the game, I just think it's human nature like this is going to be an easy one, and there's no easy ones in this league.
offensively, that first five, ball security was really clean. It seemed that affected you a lot. What did you like what you got offensively that allowed you to?
Yeah, I thought we made good decisions for the most part. I think at times we picked up our dribble in some tough spots, and guys didn't rotate to help with the pace that you have to rotate to help in those situations. But we had prepped for what they were going to do. They try to muck up the game, slow it down on offense, and then trap you and reach and grab and hold, and that's why we shot 17 free throws to their 6. So I thought we handled it for the most part pretty well.
Mac, I mean, you've said about everything you can say about Steven and Ryan, but what is the luxury of being able to have two guys who can just take over a game in any moment or any stretch?
Yeah. I mean, they're fifth-year seniors. They're experienced. They've been through it. They've done it. But I've also said before, what they do on the floor pales in comparison to what they do for our program in the locker room and on a daily basis, and how they're helping these. Roles aren't easily defined if I'm the one that has to define them. If Ryan and Steven, when they're talking to Jackson or Ty or Jason or Mason, based on their own experiences as a player and how they got through it, that's really powerful. I mean, they're not listening to some old guy to a certain extent, a little bit. But when your teammates who have been there and done it and fought through it and used it as learning opportunities, when that messaging is coming from them, it's really, really powerful.
You're going to hit the midway point of your conference slate here on Wednesday. You're on quite a roll now. What do you feel like you guys can still get better at, even despite what you're doing?
We can get better at everything. Our ball security has to get better. Rebounding's improved, but I think there's still growth there. Defensively, we've made some really good strides, but I think Xavier's one of the more talented teams in the league. They've had some injury problems. They've had some adversity. They've lost some close games where they've led most of the game. I mean, we saw St. John's here, and St. John's or Xavier, had a 16-point lead in the Garden the other night. So that's what they're capable of. They're coming off UConn tonight. So it'll be a heck of a test because I think they're playing really good basketball.
It certainly wasn't your first pink out game. Can you just talk about just the emotions of being out there each year?
Yeah, and it never really changes. We got to get John. If that's pink, we got that's not pink, John. It's not. It's just it continues to amaze me how our fan base has just embraced this event. And we have former players that come back. A lot of former players' moms make this a can't miss event, which is really, really cool. And a lot of us have dealt with family or cancer in our family, including me. And right now, one of my best friends from high school was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer in August. So I'm going through that journey with him right now. So it's it doesn't end, it doesn't stop. And to Steven's point, I don't know I could have said it any better than he did. Just for this game to celebrate that person or in your life, and it's not just the people that buy the jerseys. I mean, people that come to the games. There's a lot of cancer survivors and a lot of people that are dealing with it right now, and then some families that have unfortunately lost loved ones to cancer. So the message that it sends about the need for money for research is really important. I was at the Hope Lodge yesterday. I mean, it's a wonderful facility. I get notes and emails all the time from families that have benefited from that facility, that either in-state or out-of-state, but understand that the impact that the pink out and the auction around it has had on that building. And then it also brings to the table the need for early detection in the fight against cancer. And we do the preseason breakfast with Fred and I and Traudt at UNO. It's a touch point for us to remind people to get their screenings done, and this is another opportunity for us. If it's something that you're putting off, it's time to do it, because that early detection truly does save lives and adds many years to lives of cancer patients. So I hope people will take that message. But once again, I can't thank our fans enough, and our athletic staff was all over here yesterday setting out the T-shirts. It's a group effort. Everybody jumps on board, and to have the women's game the same day and have their pink out at the same time makes it even extra cool.
You gonna stick around?